Hey, Steve Basic Architect. We're out here at our Build Show Build Boston site. For those of you not familiar, I'm one of the contributors on the Build Show Network. You can go and you can see all of the episodes there. We have 24 of them where we're following the design and construction of this whole project. So go check it out, buildshownetwork.com. But today we're just going to do some quick progress video walks. So we're going to walk through the basement here. You can see I just came down the bulkhead. If you saw the first progress walk, we took a walk around the outside. So you'll understand that we're in the back southwest corner of the house here. Basically the house is shaped like an L. Go down a leg here under the bedrooms and then under all of the public spaces. But anyways, down in the basement here, what are we looking at? This is no magic here. 10-inch reinforced concrete foundation wall, pretty standard. These are 9-foot height, give you some sense of scale. I'm 6'6", so you get an idea of what kind of space we're talking here. You can see we have the slab is in place. Our insulation has been initialized, certainly not finished. We have 3 inches of closed cell that got sprayed underneath the slab here, and it turns up the edge of the wall for 2 inches. That will then get a wood framed wall in front of it, and then that'll be completed all the way up into the band joist area. A couple other features we have down here. We have the bolt-on bulkhead. I talked a little bit about that in the outdoor walk, but you can see we have the large bolt here and large bolt there, where basically that precast, they drill the holes, the precast bulkhead comes on the outside. There's a very heavy gasket inside there, but basically those 4 bolts are what holds that precast stairway on there. And then I'm carefully stepping over here. This is one of our sump pumps. So this is going to get pumped up and go out to a Cultec system, which is a below grade leaching field. One of the requirements of this area is that any water that we generate on the site, we have to retain on the site and have to find ways to put it in. It's a lot of the towns here have that restriction. Moving up here, we have one of the pipes here stubbed up. This is one of our radon vents. So this one basically runs underneath the slab here. We have a 10-inch stone bed of 3/4 inch stone below the slab here. So basically this pipe communicates with the whole sub-slab 10-inch stone pad there. So this is gonna go up, it'll go over, and we'll have a fan over here. You know, I like to call them clean and dirty. We're gonna have a dirty corner over here behind the shower on the outside, where we'll have the exhaust fan for the radon and a bunch of things happening out there. A bunch of the power that comes in, solar, all that good stuff. Switch gear, we'll have a bunch of it out there. So the fan, we can't put it inside. You could put it in a vented attic, but as you saw in the outside walk, we have predominantly flat roofs here, so we don't have any attic. And we can't put that inline fan inside because if it fails, it'll be pumping that radon into your basement, and you don't want that. So we have to put it outside. So this whole area here is designated as what I would term the dirty basement, right? So dirty basement meaning if something's hanging down, plumbing's hanging down from the floor joist, etc., that really doesn't bother me here because we're not gonna finish it. Obviously, we're not gonna hang stuff down 3 or 4 feet, but what I'm getting at is if we had some ductwork or had something down here, it's not as critical as in some areas that I designate as the clean basement. The back wall here, that's pretty much gonna be our electrical panel, our comm wall, all of that stuff, cable, Wi-Fi, all that stuff is gonna come in. We'll have it on that back wall there. And as we move down through the basement here, you'll see we have a riser coming up here. The plumber did a really good job of getting probably about 75% of the plumbing in the basement to run under slab, but that we got about this far and we ran out of slope. So we had to pump that riser up through the slab, which isn't a problem because the basement utility space is gonna start somewhere in front of that pipe. So this is gonna be in the storage area anyway. That's gonna come up, go back, and it'll feed that whole area. Back here, we have the owner's bathroom. And you can see there's the framing, how it switches here. What we're basically looking at there is, that's the shower pan that is dropped. So we'll see that in the walk when we do the walk on the first floor. But to achieve that, we basically have our 11 7/8 floor joist, but that gets framed as a 2x8 and it drops down. So that 3 inches or so will build up that pan so we have a nice flush condition with the floor above. And all of that bathroom plumbing will come over here and then basically dive into the sub-slab plumbing system and go out to our septic. So as we come down here, we have the L leg of the basement there, you can see. But over here, we have that big opening. You saw I finished the last video when we did the outside walk. This is that light well, escape well. So there's basically a mulled section here of wall. So we have window, a short stint of wall, and another window. So this window here services the egress for that bedroom. And then we'll have a wall through here that meets up with that mull. The second window there becomes an egress for the basement and or the fitness room that'll be here. Now, one of the future thoughts was if somebody didn't want to use that as a fitness room, they could potentially make it the 5th bedroom in the house, and we would already have the egress window available for it. So continuing down the side here, we have a bathroom that happens in this little space here that connects the large media room with the fitness room and bedroom. We'll have a hallway that navigates here in between these columns, but you can see all of our plumbing has been installed. All of it has been tested and pressurized past the initial inspection. We got our lavatory, our toilet, and then our shower. And then over here, you can see we have this little plumbing cap that is in the basement. What that is that is a clean out. If you can see down there, you'll see the stubbed up riser pipe there. That is another clean out for the underground plumbing. So that riser there comes over, turns 90 and goes down, but as it turns 90, that plumbing pipe comes back and we have a clean out here. So we have the ability to snake that line if we had to. Continuing down the basement. So here we have a really good example of, this is going to be all media room, recreation room. We have the stair opening above us is basically just closed in for safety reasons at this point. But the stairs come from the top here and come down to the corner and then turn into that room. There's a wall here for the bathroom proper here. But this is basically, you know, one room that's, I don't know, probably on the order of about 32 feet by 17 feet. And then we'll have storage space, utility space on this side. And you'll notice that down there, we'll have a little 3-foot connection that those 3 columns also are gonna sit in storage space down there, so that all of our utilities or anything that we wanna run in the future, we have this kind of utility space that runs around the outside of the finished space here. So it makes for some good flexibility, if you will. A couple things to point out. The framing system here, if you're wondering, this is a Roseburg framing system. So all of our LVLs, these are RFPI 90s. They're 11 7/8 inch deep. They're the Roseburg I joists. They have a LVL, top and bottom chord, OSB web. You can see some of their LVL beams. One of the nice things about Roseburg is that you know, they're beams. We don't have to screw them together. You can actually order them in 5 1/4 inch and 7 1/4 inch widths by whatever, you know, the standard depths, 9 1/2, 11 7/8, 14, 16, 18, etc. Coming over here, this is the last utility storage space. And actually we're gonna have another wall here. This abuts to the garage. So we have our solar array that's gonna be happening on top of the garage there, that all of that is then gonna come down here, and we'll have all of the switch gear, inverters, all of that good stuff happening down here. You notice we have another sump pump here. So we have one at the far leg there, one here. The one in the far leg is what I consider or call our primary sump pump. That's the one that goes to the Cultec system, perks into the backyard, puts the water back in the ground, you know, a couple 100 feet away from the house. This one here, this sump pump will be set 1 inch higher than the sump pump over there. So the only time this one will come on is if the other one fails. Then this one will turn on, this one will go up, we'll trench out, and it'll go out above where the septic field in the front yard is and simply perk down the hill. The town would rather have us put it in the ground than on the surface, because surface water has the potential to run down the surface, go into the street, and become part of their stormwater system, which is what they're trying to avoid. So we'll do that, but that's our secondary system. Building inspector's fine with that. And then you can see here, we have our second radon system. Again, because of the way the house has been oriented in these kind of 2 long L-shaped legs, I felt that we wouldn't be able to capture the whole sub-slab area with one radon pipe. So we have one over on the far side, we have one here. This one here goes about 10 feet down the left, 10 feet to the right, and about 16 feet right here under my feet, and captures or is encapsulated in that 10-inch stone bed there. Last feature of the basement, you see we have this opening here. This will actually have a weather stripped insulated door, because on the other side of this is unconditioned space, and this will have a staircase that goes up, and that'll take us up into the garage. So we have our staircase that comes down. It allows us to use this whole storage section of the basement here as kind of secondary garage. So, you know, you can carry your golf clubs down, or your skis or snowboard or whatever you're into, even bikes or whatever. I did a house for a gentleman who was an avid biker. So we did one of these staircases from his garage, and down here we put a bathroom, and we did a whole bike room where he had his bike rack so he could do mechanics on his bike, but all of his bike storage was down here, and he had a bathroom. So he could come home from work riding his bike. He rode it to and from work every day. He'd come home, he'd be able to put his bike up, and then he'd hit the shower, go upstairs, and transition to being at home. So anyways, let's jump upstairs, and we'll finish the third of our progress walks, and we'll take a walk around the first floor. So stay tuned, and catch up with us up there on the first floor. Steve Basic Architect out here at our Build Show Build Boston site.